Hi, my dear students. So, in the last video lecture, in the last part, there might be a problem in running the video. So, there is a technical error. So that I am giving another video lecture at the last part. Okay. So, as a last part, it is dealing with the selection technique. Okay. So, it is how we can able to select the somoclones. Okay. So, in this in vitro selection of cell lines, again an inhibitor is best carried out at a concentration that will kill 70 to 90 percentage of the wild type of tissue. Okay, normally the 70 to 90 percentage of the wild type tissues, maybe cells be died during the selection. The escaping cells, which will be a variant, only can able to as a regenerate. Other cells it cannot able to live, and we can able to select it with the help of the certain inhibitor what we added in the media. That's what it's about a selection technique. And after that, what we mentioned, it's about an regeneration. Okay, so what is regeneration is regeneration, we need to grow the cells, and we need to confirm that whether the cell is growing or not. The next step in the procedure is to regenerate the plant from the cultured material. Okay, so in many instances the capability of the tissue to be regenerate the plant is lost over a long period of continuous subculture. Sometime it cannot able to grow it because prolonged subculture leads the cells may be died. In order to avoid that, the regeneration is generally achieved by reducing the level of oxygen in the media and incubating the cultures in light. So in order to avoid the death, what we can do is we need to incubate it in the oxygen containing media. That's what they mentioned. Then about in vivo testing. Okay, so what is mean by in vivo testing is it is important that the plant obtained from the culture selected for a particular toxin should be critically examined for expression and inheritance of resistant character. So we want to find out whether the character is expressing or not, the resistant character is expressing or not. For that we need to test it whether the tissues or the cell is having the particular character or not. That is what called as an in vivo testing. Maybe only this matter, it can be determined whether the resistance may be due to mutational event or an epigenetic adaptation by culturing the cells to the toxin. Okay, so maybe the adaptation is temporary epigenetic adaptation, or it may be a permanent mutational event, whatever it may be. So that should be screened with the help of in vivo testing. That's what called as an in vivo. Next is agronomic analysis. Okay, so agronomic analysis is the regenerated plants may be selected against the toxin. It should be analyzed for the agronomical value. It's a field value for both of the generation, first generation and the second generation, for the stability of the resistant and other desirable future. So after that, when we growing in the field, then only we can able to know that whether the variation will be a permanent or not. Okay, so otherwise there may be any depletion in the agronomical value also can able to find out during this agronomical analysis. Okay, and the final one is resistance stability. Okay, what is resistance stability is, as I always mention, that there might be a chance of the cell for an adaptation at a particular point of time. That what I mentioned about epigenetic adaptation. Okay, so if there may be adaptation due to a particular period of time, or a genetic lesion responsible may be a high reversion rate for, or an alternation may be due to genetic or epigenetic adaptation. So in order to know that whether it is a permanent or whether it may be stable or a transient, we need to find out with the help of this resistant stability for generation over a period of time. Okay, first generation, second generation, we need to grow the plant, taking a seed and again grow it in the field and taking the seed. Like that, it should be checked for a particular variety, then only we can able to market it or field it. Okay, so that is about what we mention about this. It is about somoclonal variation. Okay, so variation and how we can able to select the variation and certain factors that will influence the somoclonal variation. That's it. Okay, so the next is about application. Okay, so application of somoclonal variation. So dealing with this application of somoclonal variation, there are a number of applications is there. Okay, so to have an impact of a plant breeding program, there are different type of applications should be there for this somoclonal variation. The first one is novel variants. Okay, novel variants. So that is a somoclonal variation in breeding which will give a novel variant. It may be arise from and can be used as a agronomical uses. Many an implication of this somoclonal variation in breeding is a novel variant can arise, and this can be agronomically used. We can use it for agronomical purpose. A number of breeding lights have been developed by somoclonal variation. For example, an improved scented geranium, it's a variety named as velvet rose, have been developed. And an example of heritable somoclonal variation is being developed, such as thornless blackberries. Okay, thornless blackberry, that is an example of somoclonal variation. Like that, there is a more number of novel variants can be created. That is a major application. The next one is about somoclonal variation and disease resistant. Okay, so disease resistant plants, we are creating disease resistant plants. Okay, so the greater contribution of this homoclonal variation towards a plant improvement is the developing a disease resistant genotype in various crop species. Okay, so maybe know the different type of plants nowadays. You can see all the plants may be affected by certain viruses or any pathogenic bacteria. Okay, so diseases, so in order to rectify that, we need to create a disease resistant plants. Okay, so it is mentioned resistant was first reported in sugarcane for eye spot disease. Okay, eye spot disease by Helmithosporium sakari. Helmithosporium sakari, which will create eye spot disease in sugarcane. Okay, as well as Fiji disease. Okay, that is also caused by a Fiji virus. Okay, Fiji virus disease to sugarcane. It can be rectified by regenerating the plant from the callus of suspectable clones. Okay, suspect clones, and it can be screened for the somoclones. Okay, so by overcoming the certain diseases, we can create disease resistant plant. That is also a major application of somoclonal variation. Okay, so here is a tabular column which is mentioning about a list of disease resistant crops which we get from somoclones. For example, food crops such as maize, Helmithosporium maize pathogen against the pathogen, and the rice, Helmithosporium oryzae. Such that there are different examples it is quoted for the exam point of view. Okay, next is about abiotic stress resistant. Okay, abiotic stress resistant, that it is mentioned here. There are different stresses is there for the plants. Okay, for example, salt tolerant, then drought tolerant, like that different is there. Okay, so the homoclonal variation has resulted in several interesting biochemical mutant which are being successfully used in plant metabolic pathway studies, such as amino acid and secondary metabolite pathway. Okay, so the variation, the homoclonal variation not only modify the variety of the plant, as well as it can be play a major role in the improvement of biochemical characters. Okay, such as the improving the amino acid and secondary metabolite pathway. Okay, so here does mention about the first one is about salt tolerant plants. Okay, it is salt tolerant plant. It does resist against high salinity. That is called as a salt tolerant. So plant tissue cultured, this plant tissue culture technique have been successfully used to obtain salt tolerant cell lines or variant in several plant species such as tobacco, rice, maize, then solanum, sorghum, etc. Okay, so it can able to produce a different type of plants against the salt tolerant plants. Okay, so that is an example, certain example which is quoted here. Next is about aluminum tolerant. So what is mean by this aluminum tolerance is, so it is the plant which maybe resist this aluminum, high concentration of aluminum, maybe certain nearer to the aluminum industrial field or other fields. It may be there may be contamination of aluminum in the soil, so the plants cannot able to grow certain plants. Okay, in order to overcome such problem, we can create a aluminum tolerance plants. Okay, so it has long been established that plant species or cultivator greatly differ in their resistance to this aluminum stress. Okay, in recent year, considerable research have been focused on the understanding of physiological, genetic, and molecular process that leads to aluminum tolerance. Okay, so for this problem on adapting the aluminum resistance, there are different species have been researched, such as some carrot, sorghum, tomato, tobacco, etc. Okay, it may be a wide variety of plant is there. For example, what it is mentioned here, this few example was quoted here. Somoclonal variants from a cell culture of carrot were selected by exposing the cells to excess ionic aluminum in the form of aluminum chloride. Okay, what is mentioned? It is about if somoclonal variant from cell culture of carrot were selected by exposing the cells to excess ionic aluminum in the form of aluminum chloride. Okay, so next is drought tolerant plants. Okay, drought tolerant plants, so there are different examples such as we can people are created there is a report against sorghum somoclonal variant lines have been created for the resistant to drought stress. Okay, and a novel hybrid was developed by crossing with this particular sorghum, and it was created. And other example it is quoted here is it is drought tolerant rice lines were obtained by in vitro selection of seed which was induced callus on the media containing polyethylene glycol as a selective agent to stimulate the effect of drought in tissue culture condition. Okay, so in this tabular column it is stated that certain salt tolerant plants. Okay, examples of salt tolerant plant. Next application is herbicide resistance. Okay, herbicide resistant plants. Okay, nowadays people are using number of herbicides in the field such as plasminothrasin, glyphosate, sulfonylurea, like that different type of herbicides were used in the field. So in order to overcome that, we need to create a herbicide resistant plant. Though in vitro selections for several cell lines resistant to the herbicide have been isolated, and certain examples may be quoted such as it is maybe induced in tobacco, soybean, wheat, maize, etc. Okay, which will resist against certain herbicides such as sulfonylurea, glyphosate, etc. Okay. Next application is insect resistant. Okay, so insect resistant plants such as maybe quote example Bacillus thuringiensis, bt cotton. It's an insect resistant plant. We can use bt cotton. Similarly, different type of plants have been created as an insect resistant. That too an application. Then seed quality. The final one is about seed quality improvement. There is an improvement in the seed quality. Okay, so variety of there is a variety they mention about Lathyrus sativa. Lathyrus sativa, it is mentioned, has been identified for cultivating in central India, which has been developed through somoclonal variation and has been low ODAP. That is, what is ODAP? Oxyl diaminopropionic acid. Okay, that is ODAP. What is ODAP? Is it is oxyl diaminopropionic acid. Okay, a neurotoxin. It is a neurotoxin indicating the potential of somoclonal variation for the development of variety with improved seed quality. Okay, so these are all the a few application of somoclonal variation. With this we'll end the video lecture. So we'll discuss other topic in the next class. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.